Hello, Summoners! This is HeavyArms here. My second commentary. Today I'll be commentating, looks like Riven top lane versus, Jayce, yeah. Undefeated sent me his commentary asking if I would, take a look at it, do some commentary for him, and yeah, absolutely happy to. And for those of you unaware, if you would like me to do commentary, if you like the commentary I give, please feel free to get in contact with me, you know, send me a replay, and just give me some basic information about yourself, who you're playing, what your runes and masteries are, things like that. And I'll get back to you within 48 hours if I'm going to commentate for you. If you don't hear back from me, consistency is key. So let's see. We have Riven starting with Rejuvenation B, 2 wards, and 4 potions. That's a really great start. Though, against a Mummy, maybe not so much. You know, Mummy doesn't really gank that much early. You know, pre-level 6, his ganks are not that scary, really. He has a stun and a moderate amount of damage. Of course, you know, very skilled mummies can be a force to be reckoned with, but in general, in solo queue, at lower levels of play, especially against a mummy or a more, I should say a less aggressive jungler, you know, if they had like a Jarvan or Maokai or, I don't know, a Zen, someone that could be in your lane pretty early and gank from multiple paths, you know, that's not a bad start, but in this case, it would not necessarily have been a bad thing to have a bit of more of an aggressive start, especially as Riven, because as Riven versus Jayce early, you can just get him early. If you manage to catch him out in a mistake, the damage output, it's not even on the same level. Like, Riven would utterly smash Jayce just, like, straight on 1v1, purely by champion design. That's just kind of how it is. I mean, Jayce has more mobility, no, he doesn't have more nuke, but he has more mobility has a bit more utility with the acceleration and things like that. However, Riven is basically just mobility and damage. He is just a fighter, basically. Okay, so coming into the lane, level 1. Something you can try, if you would like, if you're having a more aggressive start, you can wait down in this bush right here, and I'll do that a lot, and you'll see a lot of higher tier, higher elo players do this. Especially if you have like a red elixir start, and you're playing a fighter champion like a Lee Sin, like a Jayce, like a Riven, and you start that red elixir, or even if you just have a very offensively ruined and offensive rune and mastery page, you can hop in that bush and wait for them to come up from blue, and just fight them before a single creep even dies, so you're not missing out on XP or gold or anything. So that's always beneficial. That was actually a really good time to go ward, because if he had followed you there to like try and harass, then Hecarim could have come up and, you know, cut him off guard. So good job on that. I don't know if it was intentional. Hecarim, did he knock? Hold on, I'm gonna slow this down and come back. Did he knock? Did he knock him out of the stun? Okay, let's see. It doesn't look like he was stunned. I don't know, maybe I'm missing it there. I'm not sure, but it looks to me like there wasn't a stun. I think you were level 1 in the middle of that gank, and so you probably didn't have it available. In which case, that's really on Hecarim. You know, don't be afraid to tell the jungler to back off. If you're like 2 creeps away from that level 2, I think in that case, a stun might have secured a kill. And if Hecarim hadn't knocked him towards the turret for some reason. Oh, first blood at mid. Hecarim, good job. So yeah, level 2, Riven and lane. Yeah, I can understand why you're sitting back. Let's see how things develop. Jayce being a bit aggro. This is really what you want. If you're in a situation where you're going to be behind in level and he's going to be a bit more aggressive, you know, don't be afraid to let him get cocky. Like right now, I mean, if Jayce were to try and fight you again, and not near the turret, I mean just straight 1v1 outside the turret, you would win out on damage just because of the nature of Riven and how powerful she is in lane. Though it is one of those things where you kind of have to catch them. The Jayce will have to get a bit cocky. If he's playing super careful, then yeah, it's going to be difficult to get on him, and you'll have to wait until a jungler sets up a gank or something like that. But in this instance, you see Jayce has no mana left. He's kind of just poking you by turret, unfortunately. Okay, good. Yeah, I would have started chugging that pot earlier, like pretty much as soon as... Sorry, I'm trying to focus this camera onto you. 1 second. I'm good at this, I promise. There we go. So like I was saying, if you can kind of bait Jayce into a sense of security, especially while he has that slight level advantage, then that's for the best. Because as soon as you do get on level with him, you can force trades and you'll win. Because you are a resourceless champion, other than health, of course. So trying to force trades, especially when you can come out on top in terms of damage, it's the way you want to go. But it seemed like, right there, he was kind of being the aggressor and pushing the lane, pushing you, and landing skill shots while you were trying to go for creeps. Which is unfortunate. If you would be a bit more aggressive in lane, it's very, very, very possible for Riven to pick up an early kill against Jayce, especially like this guy. He's trying to be aggro. Again, he's trying to make plays and cause stuff to happen. Which is really where you want the Jayce, because again, like head-on 1v1, you're gonna beat the guy. Okay, little action, good. There you go. And this is when you should turn and fight. Yeah. Okay, awesome, right there. Unfortunately, Hecarim, I think, used his sprint a little bit before he should have, because he was running out of steam when by the time he actually got to Jayce, it was just like, so again, I think that may have been an error on Hecarim's part. I don't know how you guys were communicating, but yeah, don't be afraid to tell your jungler to just hang on for a second, especially if it's gonna get you that level or allow you to set that kill, or if it will allow your stun to be off cooldown, things like that. But so far, I mean, you're playing it very safe. You're not trying to cause much. That's what. Okay, that's. I'm thinking of how to phrase this. In League, you are more often than not rewarded for being the proactive player. The player who tries to think and consider what's going on and calls plays and create action is generally the one who's rewarded. That's not the same as being overly aggressive and forcing trades that you shouldn't try to trade. But it's more of like, okay, like you're doing right now. Like you just warded up. You're going mid. Also, that's being proactive. Hecarim's not even here to help, but you have a moment, and yeah, you can roam mid. So that's perfect. This is case in point, exactly what I was referring to. I hope this works out. I hope you are rewarded. And indeed, it looks like you will be. Yeah, exactly. Case in point, the proactive players were rewarded, which is great. And you'll find that is the case more often than not. There are some times, of course, when you are proactive and you make a misplay, either due to mechanics or just miscalculations, what have you. Oh god, please try and fight. Please, I hope... Oh no, oh no. Did you have ult there? Oh no, okay. You did have ult, but no ignite. It's close, but I swear to you, and this will sound crazy, and I've seen this happen. Rivens, while they're on that kind of low health, and Jayce, he's being really cocky, trying to blow you up. I guarantee he's glass cannon. Here, I'll even take a look real quick, just kind of back what I was saying. He has, 51 armor, 43 MR, he has a tier and some potions, so he basically, as far as items goes, nothing. He has mana and regen, that's it. It's apparent that he has, dumped some points into armor and MR. However, he should still feel very squishy when compared to yourself with, your shield and how much armor do you have? 65 armor. Well, you just pulled that cloth, I think. I'm not sure. Either way, in those situations, like if you had reacted the moment he came into you, like right here, if you had just ulted and just gone ham, I can almost guarantee you could either send him back or send him running or something of that sort. Ignite not being up, it's maybe for the best you didn't fight in there, but it's really one of those things where, again, like if you're proactive, if you try those kind of things, not necessarily with like burning your potential escape, but ulting and just trying to blow him up pretty much, it probably would have worked out. I'm willing to bet it would have. Just again, from my experience as Jayce versus Riven, I've had situations where like I'll repeatedly outplay the Riven, land my skill shots, land my abilities, and then they'll be super low, and then all of a sudden it'll be like ult ignite, and they'll spam Q and W a few times, and I'm just like, where did I go? I just popped. It looks like I just popped. I just blew up pretty much. But that's what Riven does. She is an AD caster, and she excels at just putting out insane amounts of damage in a very short period. No directed camera. Stay on Riven. There. This isn't a bad strategy as well. Taking jungle creeps is always for the best, especially if the jungler isn't around to try and take it. If Hecarim were like down here at raids while you're trying to do this and he was about to head up, of course, that's kind of a dick move. He was about to come utilize that experience and that gold. But if it's like this case, he's down at bot, hanging out in their jungle, perfect, absolutely perfect. This would be a great time to do what you're doing. Especially while the lane's pushing up, you're not going to be missing out on much. Maybe a creep or two, but certainly certainly less than what the double golems are worth. Again, it just feels like you're just letting him control the lane and control you. Don't be afraid to just, okay, let's do this, Jayce. Turn around and try and fight the guy, because I genuinely feel that it's possible for Riven to just full to zero Jayce. Oh, very well done. very well done backing off from the mummy. And in this particular case, going in would have been probably not for the best. Maybe it would have. I think it's definitely possible. Again, with Riven's insane damage output, for you to just blow Jayce up whenever he gets a bit cocky and tries to come into you in melee form. That's what I would try in the future. Anytime you're versus a Jayce and you're not just like completely disadvantaged, like you haven't died, you haven't done anything like that. Yeah, Jayce comes into you, try and fight him back. Stun, blow him up a bit, and see how he reacts. I'm willing to bet that more often than not, and in the cases where the Jayce isn't fed and the Jayce doesn't have a jungler near, that you'll just be able to take him out. Like full to zero, just absolutely nuked. And then once Riven gets a kill, once Riven has that level advantage, like even if it's just one level and that one kill advantage, oh god, she can just snowball incredibly hard with that, because that's just how she works. She has incredible AD scaling, the shield that scales with AD, so she can go kind of that glass cannon build and still at least feel a bit tanky, especially in 1v1 and 2v1 kind of scenarios. You know, that's we see this all the time on streams and recordings where that box and other famous Riven players will turn these 2v1s and get a double kill just because of how crazy her damage output is and how insanely tanky she can feel just on glass cannon items, or just on AD items, I should say. But yeah, I liked when you went mid again. Like those are the kind of plays that are gonna, kind of make the game. Because when you do things like that, when you just suddenly show up mid and you gank, I mean, the mid's gonna be furious. Oh my god, no MI, blah blah blah. You know how people are in solo queue, and that just kind of starts the snowball in your team's favor. When you start fighting in chat, especially in alt chat, and just like you see all the time in solo queue, that's really in my mind whenever I'm like, okay, this game's over. Once my team is playing the blame game in the alt chat, that's really at the point at which I can go, okay, this is probably done, because I know that there's going to be very little team cohesion, very little teamwork going on, and just in general, people being keyboard warriors. And as sad as it sounds, I mean, that's something that can be exploited in solo queue. You know that by roaming, it's gonna piss. Let's see how this plays out. Okay, that was close on the stun. This should be a dead Jayce here. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so you missed abilities there, and still just absolutely destroyed him. Like, friggin', just murdered the guy. And you could do this by yourself. You could do this without Hecarim here, without his ult, and without all of that. If your abilities land, like... Okay, so bot's crying for some reason. Or someone's crying, I don't know. That makes me... That's frustrating. As I was saying, yeah, don't be afraid to kind of turn the tables on the Jayce. Bait it out a bit, like, oh, don't hit me, please. And then when he comes into you in that melee form, ult and just blow him up. Close. Again, it's strange. In lane, I'm seeing you be just super passive and kind of letting things happen, but like you really are a proactive player. Like I'm seeing, like you noticed this mummy getting away on no health, you ganked mid, stuff like that. These are all extremely good things that, ooh. Right there, I don't know, let's see how this plays out, but if you had turned on the rise, you probably could have killed him, especially with the Hecarim coming up behind him. That would have probably been the better choice. Let's see how this goes. It's lagging for some reason. Okay, there we go. I don't know what any of this is. This is just like... We just wanted to give Vayne some kills. Okay, so I can understand your dying. That was justified. You killed the mummy, you chased him down, you maybe didn't see the rise coming up behind you with the Hecarim. The safer play there, if you had noticed the Hecarim coming up, is to turn, fight the rise with Hecarim, and then continue on to try and take on the rest of the enemy team if they so choose to come, away from the turret and up into the jungle to fight you. Also, not the best place to fight. I realized it was kind of just the mummy being where he was whenever you killed him. But... Fizz missing his ult. But, like I was saying, look for those kind of opportunities. I understand, like, when you kind of, see these people on no health, you just, you zone in on that kill, and you lose map awareness, things like that, but those kind of decisions will make or break your game. Whenever you go, oh, okay, I see Rise coming up, but I also see that mummy get away on no health, Rise is still the better choice. I can 2v1 the Rise, and then continue on with my Hecarim and my Fizz, and, we can possibly, you know, working a kill or something. It just depends on the scenario. And those are really the like kind of tough split-second decisions that will oftentimes just come with experience. So I can understand that. Like that wasn't like an obvious like, oh my god, Riven, how could you not, you know, realize that? Like, you know, that would have been like a split-second decision where you glance at the minimap, you see the Hecarim coming around, you see the Rise coming in behind you, you see how far away the Mummy is, and you go, okay, screw this, going for the Rise. That's what's going to happen. Okay, forming up, yeah. Maybe would have been better to come mid. I can understand, you know, maybe you didn't see it, what have you. Map awareness is something we can all work on, though. If that's not... the two things, map awareness and CS. Boop! Map awareness and CS, you will never be as good as you need to be at them. It's unfortunate that you're coming now. I would have stopped mid-camp and come mid to try and help. You might have been able to get the second kill, like on the Rise, or help, you might have gotten a double kill. You know, those two on that kind of health with your ult, oh yeah, that would have just been... you would have demolished them with your level 2 ult. And let's see what you have at this point. Yeah, BF sword, oh my gosh, yeah. Dude, you gotta look out for stuff like that. Now, I can understand the armor boots in lane. Maybe change them up to Merc Treads later on just because of Rise W, Alistair Stun, Bane Stun, Mummy. Yeah, they have way too much CC for you not to have Merc Treads. So, and there's nothing wrong with, you know, buying the boots that you want in lane or in jungle. Like if you're jungling, you can get move 5s and then swap over to Merc Treads later. There's no issue with that. It's a little, you know, you lose out on a bit of money whenever you sell those boots back. But even so, it can be worth it. And would definitely be worth it this game. And that's just, I mean, that's Riven. It's like, once you get CC down, not really much you can do. She loses that ability to become hyper carry. If she's in the middle of everyone, just life-stealing up, getting that shield, you know, putting out tons of damage, that's going to be a one fight. That's really where you're going to shine. Now, I think I just, whoa! It's over there. What? Okay. Sorry, sidetracked. As I was saying. Okay, so Jayce is roaming mid at this point. Yeah, I would do what you're doing and try and come in on them, work in a gank. It's also possible that you could be top right now. It just kind of depends on how your teammates are willing to play. Fizz, it being a Fizz, this would be more difficult. Like, he can't just sit and farm in lane with 2, so it's probably for the best that you try and help him out. You know, because Fizz is melee, he has no range. He does have the ability to hop around, but very, very scary versus a Jayce and Rise. Now, if it were like an Orianna or an Anivia who could just sit there and farm, you know, that's another thing. That's good, you had the map awareness to see that people were diving, coming down to help that out, especially against the Vayne. Like, you know, it's that one team fight gone wrong, that's all she really needs to get a little bit fed. Start that snowball. So, Kinnan died. Wow, three of them are dead. I would certainly consider doing Dragon, but it's gonna be, yeah, you're gonna get poked, and then Rise can come in ulting, like, yeah, that could be the quad kill they needed. Though he did just burn his flash and ult. It's very possible to wait a moment and just kind of see how that plays out and then come back in. There'd be nothing wrong with that. If you guys could get on him, yeah, at this point, I think at that point, if you had all 3 gone in at the same time, you could have won. I didn't see how low Leona was when leaving the fight, but I'm willing to bet that she could have come in for, like, you know, an E or an ult or something. No, actually, her ult was probably down from the dive. But even so, that was a winnable fight. That was 4v2. And yeah, they're big nukers, but as long as you can get the CC on them, Riven will have the damage, and Fizz will certainly have the damage, you know, to blow them up. And again, especially the Jayce, he's probably still glass cannon. Yeah, he's still glass cannon. Other than some inherent armor and MR. So we are almost 20 minutes in, 11 to 14. It's almost exactly tied up on gold. And now it's, well, never mind. It's almost tied up on gold. There's 100 gold disparity. So it was a very close game, obviously. I don't know how this plays out. I don't know who wins or loses. But at this point, the overall notes, try to be more aggressive in lane. Try to be the person who controls the tempo of the match. Try to be the person who, you know, baits out that Jayce coming into melee form, and then you turn and just blow him up, because Riven is certainly capable of doing so. But other than that, I mean, I really like how proactive you are, showing up mid, you know, coming around, trying to finish off ganks. There have been a few times whenever, like, you know, you had started doubles at the top, and you probably could have come to help Hecarim, but that's more of a map awareness thing, and not like... I'm sure you didn't see Hecarim being dove, and you're just like, I'm just going to finish these. It's probably, again, like a map awareness thing where you didn't see until the last second, and then you came in. Which I mean, that happens. You know, map awareness is something you can always work on. You can never have good enough map awareness. Little action bot. Whoever that is pinging, hope they die. IRL. Not really. Or do I? That's a dead thing. Awesome. And but yeah, whenever Jayce comes into you, it just seems like he's controlling you, and you're kind of afraid to turn around. But if you would stop and just, you know, try to fight it out, not necessarily go like just balls deep every single fight, but, you know, play it out, see what kind of damage happens, see if you can dodge his acceleration gate Q with your shield while you're in there in melee range. And that's another appeal of Riven, is you can be, you know, fighting him here, and you see that acceleration gate drop down, and you hop behind him and continue to fight as he misses his acceleration gate. Or alternatively, he notices that you jump, and he just turns and Qs, in which case he doesn't get the bonus 40% damage from throwing his Q through the acceleration gate. Again, those are kind of those split-second decisions like I was referring to before whenever Ryze was chasing you. It comes with experience, it comes with, you know, just trying things out. You know, there are times whenever it won't work. There will be times when you're like, damn, like, I wish I just played it safe and farmed, or whatever, whatever the scenario was. But more often than not, if you're willing to try things out, and, you know, if you're willing to die sometimes, you know, to try a new strategy or try a certain level of progression that you're not accustomed to, eventually you'll get used to it. You'll learn to 1v1 people even more, and that's what Riven excels at. She is such a duelist. She is an excellent 1v1 and 2v1 champion. She's also great in team fights, though, and that's really her appeal. Is just like tons of damage, good CC, and pretty damn good mobility as well. And so that's what you want to utilize. That's how you want to play her. And I'm seeing that a pretty good bit, but except for lane. But that's really where it counts. Like if you can just get that one or two kills on Jayce and lane, then oh my god, you'll be able to snowball just incredibly hard. So I'm sure we're about to see some team fights. Let's see how you play it. Damn, that was a pretty good initiation. Let me try to counter-initiate with ultimate. You hop in with, oh yeah, here comes the cleanup crew. Janitor Riven, do big. Maybe not. Oh, okay. That wasn't bad. Your team was a bit late coming in. Not coming in, but trying to back you up. It seemed like they were dealing with something else other than the Bane and the Rise, which is not what they should have been doing. Those are the, you know, top two priorities. Bane being number one most likely. Well, it kind of depends. If Ryze's ult is down, if he's blowing his combo, then yeah, he's probably second priority under Bane. But at the start of the fight, if you could blow up Ryze before he even gets his combo off, that would be immense for your team. But it looks like you guys ended up coming out on top, which is great. You'll get a turret in addition to those kills. While you were fighting over here, might have could have kited the Ryze back. They were definitely being aggressive on you, so if you just brought them back towards your team, you might have been able to get more assistance in that way. But it just kind of depends on how your team plays. And again, I keep going back to this. These are the decisions that will come with experience. That you'll notice it takes a bit of map. It's a combination of these kind of higher level decisions. Like you have that map awareness. You realize where your teammates are in the heat of the fight. You realize how many people are attacking you and about how quick you're losing health. And then you can make that decision. Okay, I'm taking aggro. They're coming at me. They want to, you know, they're aggressing onto me. Try and kite them back. Now let's say you try and kite them back. Vayne doesn't want to follow because she sees your team here. Well, then you're just 1v1ing the Ryze. That's awesome. That's great. That's what you want. So in that scenario, just try and bring them back to your team. Try and kite them back towards your teammates and see how that plays out. I hate that person. I really do. Let's go Dragon coming up soon. Got the pink down, clearing that. Dragon's up. That douchebag is still pinging. Fizzlestick's gonna try and solo the dragon here. Alright, so in this scenario, let's see, yeah, it's just a straight on 5v5. They're stalling a bit before Jayce gets there. I'm sure that as soon as he arrives, he'll try and go in. Okay, you got the dragon. Not bad. Their team was split up. They had their CC back on the cannon, while all of your team's damage was just up here on top of their damage, pretty much. Like, it was just a clusterfuck of like Jayce, Vayne, Riven, Fizz, everyone just throwing friggin' damage out everywhere, and then you guys came out on top, so that's great. There's always a better way to play it. In that instance, actually, yeah, I'll go back. That was a pretty intense fight. I'm gonna go back and take a look at that. Slow it down, because everything's better in slow-mo. Okay, here, I'll slow it down this time. Alright, there's that douchebag being again. Alistar decides he's the big man. Starts walking in with Mummy. There's all the CC. Alright, gonna slow it down now. See you coming in, for some reason, on top of the Alistar with this stun. Probably not where you to be. He flashes over you. Awesome. You're in the middle of everyone, just duking out damage right on top of the Vayne. That's awesome. Followed up by the Hecarim Fear. Oh, the Fear actually didn't hit, but you managed to finish him off with your ultimate. Awesome. Very well done. Just on top of that Vayne from the second that fight started. That was awesome. Very well done there. Fizz comes in duking down the Jayce. That's great. Again, the enemy's team CC and Peel all back here on Kinnan for some reason. And that's a dead rise. So yeah, really, now that I watched it again, you did pretty well. I would have avoided the Alistar if the Alistar had stunned you, and then Vayne had just decided to focus you there. The fight would have definitely gone a bit differently. I mean, it's difficult to say. I mean, you can't say for sure one way or the other, but I think that if the Alistar had not flashed onto your backline and just ulted, I'm sorry, and just stunned you there, could have nuked you down. I don't really know. But overall, very nice job there. Got on top of the Vayne, and even though Hecarim missed his ultimate there, you managed to follow up that Vayne with your ultimate and just blow her up. So, very well played. Took out the AD carry, took out the VIP. Again, just a very close game. Like right now, you guys have, you know, like a 4,000 gold lead. Which is good, but it's not like, oh yeah, this game's in the bag. Like, and this is kind of strange because it's 16 to 26. There's a 10 kill spread, but only, you know, 4,000 or 5,000 difference in gold. I guess it's just objectives and farming naturally. So at this point, let's see what you kind of have as far as items. Not bad. I can understand why you haven't done anything with Rejuve Bead. I mean, no reason to sell it. Might as well hang on to it. It was only going to help you out in lane. I'm curious to see what you're going for with that chain vest. Against this team, if it were me, and just judging by your playstyle now, like how you dove into the middle of all three of them, which again was not a bad thing. Like you just destroyed the Vayne, so very well done. But if you're going to do something like that and you had like a Randuin's, that would be the way to go. That way, Jayce and Vayne can't just blow you up, and also they're going to have a more difficult time getting away, thus just giving you a much easier team fight overall. But we'll see. Oh, no, okay, you're going for GA. GA is awesome as well. Same kind of scenario, you hop in the middle of everyone, but they actually manage to blow you up. Again, not a bad choice. It is less expensive than Randuin, so you're going to have those defensive stats earlier than you would have otherwise. But, you know, maybe looking to going to a Randuin's in the future. Randuin's is just, it's a great team item. It's a great team fight item. And especially when you're playing Riven, because when you get in there, when you get in the middle of all of them, they can't ignore you. They can't just, you know, jump past you and try and go for your AD carry. They have to go, oh crap, this Riven's on me and it's doing, you know, crap tons of damage. I've got to do something about this. I've got to peel it off. I have to, you know, blow her up, what have you. Now you get in the middle of them with the Randuin's, it just adds another barrier to them, you know, getting you off. It's going to be difficult to peel you off while they're slowed and stunned. From your W. So just something to consider. Itemization is another one of those, and again, this is like the fourth or fifth time I've gone back to it. It's another one of those experience things. Like just, you should try things out in game, like even if it's ranked, you know. I'm not saying pull some crazy ass play that's going to screw your team over, but you know, hey, go a bit more aggressive in lane, try some builds out, try some more items that you haven't out before, some builds. Because, again, you're going to be rewarded. If nothing else, you'll be rewarded with that experience of knowing how it works and why it works or why it doesn't work. And using that kind of experience, you can draw more advanced itemization tactics, if that makes sense. But, looks like you guys are going to go for a Baron, pick the Jayce, that's not bad. That ain't bad. For some reason, this Fizz is over here by himself, pulling you guys up a Baron. Like, you guys had a ward out, he should have been over there with you, I understand. He wanted to just nuke someone, but in that case, that wasn't the way to go. It would have been better to just be with you guys. It worked out, don't get me wrong. But the best choice there was to be with you guys and try and help out. Nice job at the ultimate, finishing off Mummy. Oh, rise! Nice. Good, getting the kills, staying on top of people. Again, your teamfight performance is really not bad. Like, my biggest qualm with how you play so far is your laning phase. You could afford to be more aggressive and you come out ahead more often than not, I'm willing to bet. I mean, it really comes down to your individual skill and your mechanics and how well you can duel people. Because team fighting, dueling, and just all the different kinds of fighting in League, they're a little bit different. They all have many of the same interchangeable mechanics and styles, but they play out differently. And some people are better duelists and they're at team fights, some people are better, you know, doing things like 2v2s and they are full-on 5v5s. It just kind of depends on the person and your experience. But overall, I'm seeing pretty good performance in team fights, pretty good objective control. Not bad map awareness, that's another area you're lacking in this map awareness. It shows that when you see something's going on, you're making a pretty good decision. You're making, not poor calls, but just overall your map awareness certainly should be worked on. See if you finish off that GA. Yeah, you get the GA, you got the BT, the pretty standard Riven build. And I think you're going for Last Whisper next, also not bad. Well, I say that, let me see what they have. They have, okay, yeah, oh yeah, not a bad choice. Not a bad choice at all. What the hell? Okay, honestly, no, I was just assuming that Mummy had armor, but Mummy doesn't have armor, Ali doesn't have armor. The only one with armor is actually Rise, so in this case, it might have been better just to get like another Bloodthirster, I mean, honestly, or just some more lifesteal. Those kind of things to keep you alive in lane, or even a Maul of Malamortius would have been excellent against the Rise, and now that I'm seeing Mummy who's going straight damage, Maul of Malamortius against him would be excellent as well. But yeah, again, like I was saying, it seems like as long as you have the information, you're making pretty decent calls, with the exception of laning phase. And there's not anything necessarily wrong with playing it safe. Okay, it'll work sometimes, but when you get against the player who's like, okay, legitimately, I mean, in my opinion, Jayce beat you in lane just because he was more aggressive, you get your turret, and it just seemed like he was controlling the pace and the tempo of the lane. That is something that you could change, that's something you could work on. Trying to get a little initiation, Leona will hold directly on top of Mummy, he's blown up. This is why you don't play AP Mummy. Not that AP on Mummy is necessarily a bad thing, but straight AP Mummy. Okay, he is getting a bit of armor now, so that Last Whisper build is making a bit more sense. It would make even more sense if Ali were building like an Aegis or a Locket. No, I take that back. A Locket wouldn't make sense. I don't think it gives that much armor. It just gives the regen component. Diving deep with that GA, not bad, making yourself a tremendous target. They have to deal with you. Now they're saying, oh, you know, this Riven's in the middle of us as the GA. You don't want to have to deal with it because for all your effort, for all your nuke, she's just going to come back. Nicely played, nicely played. Just something else to consider, like I was saying, is the Randuins, or, you know, just another defensive item. The GA, I feel like, assumes that you're going to die. It puts you in a position where in teamfights you're going to go, I'm going to do the craziest thing possible and, you know, pretty much pop my GA. I'll almost force them to utilize that GA, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but there are often times whenever a different defensive item would have just allowed you to live. The nuke wouldn't have killed you, you could have stayed alive, there's no downtime between, like, you know, where the GA is spawning and you're dying. Things like that. Oh, Ali. Aw. Buddy. He's trying. He really is. No, at this point, you guys have a tremendous 17,000 gold lead. It's pretty much in the bag. I'm gonna go ahead and actually skip ahead. I try to keep my commentary under 30 minutes. Whoa! What's going on? Please work. Pause. Just catch everything up, and then we'll start again. Please. Okay, so yeah, you guys come out on top, 23 to 41. That was, I'm sure, Vayne coming back from a GA or something. Overall, really, not badly played. It was just a bit too passive. You know, I've said this a few times now. Just try and control the laning phase. Try and duel people. Don't be afraid to show a bit more aggression than what you're accustomed to. That's how you're going to grow as a player and become better at 1v1s and be that duelist that Riven can be in lane. But yeah, GG. Well played. Again, if any of you would like me to commentate your games, please send it over to HeavyArmsGaming@gmail.com. If I haven't gotten back to you within 48 hours, you know, try me again. It just depends. I'm kind of a busy fella. But thanks for watching. I appreciate it. If you like my videos, please like, subscribe, and comment. Thanks.